The 49ers just beat Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks by 12 points in Seattle. Does this mean the 49ers are back? I will discuss that and more next on my instant reaction. Good evening. Welcome to my instant reaction. My name is Grant Cohn. I'm here at Lumen Field. The 49ers just won a game here tonight. They beat the Seattle Seahawks. One hell of a team. Went up 20 and just put them away easily. Well, that's not exactly what happened, but they won. They had to win, and they did win the game by 12. Are the Niners back? I'll tell you something. Brock Purdy's back. Seriously. Brock Purdy hasn't played this well in about a year. He hasn't played this well since the Ravens ate his lunch on Christmas. It was rude. They just took his lunch and ate it right in front of him. They drank his Sprite too. They took his big Kahuna burger and ate it right in front of his face. And they asked, could we have some of your tasty beverage to wash this down? And they took the beverage, drank the whole thing. That's what the Ravens did. Brock's been really a little self-conscious since that day. I'd understand, man. When you get punked like that in the cafeteria, people don't forget. But now he got to face Mike McDonald again. Same coordinator from that day. Ate his lunch. 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. First time Brock hasn't turned the ball over since week 1. So hell yeah. Brock Purdy's back. He needed a performance like this. Now, granted, Seahawks were missing 3 corners, 2 D linemen. Like, it's nice to see Brock Purdy be able to do this again, but he did it. Who else is back? Kittle. George Kittle's having a phenomenal season, and now that Kyle Shanahan can't go to Christian McCaffrey in the red zone, and Deebo Samuel's kind of washed, and none of the wide receivers are really red zone factors, Kyle, like, in year 8 of coaching George Kittle's like, oh, you know what? This tight end guy, he makes some difficult catches with bodies around. I'm going to throw him the ball like, wow, what an idea. George Kittle probably should have like double the touchdowns he had in his career, but Kyle Shanahan, a little too creative for his own good, but out of necessity, found George Kittle in the red zone. Wow, he's back. Who else is back for sure? Is Deebo back? He had a great touchdown catch, but he's still not like the Deebo we remember. Brandon Ayuk, is he back? Hard to say that they're back. Fred Warner never left. And you got some new additions to Renardo Green. He was never there, but now he's in. He made the interception to really close the game, although the Niners... and then Guerrero. Guerrero is up. I don't know how good he is, but he made that play. Who else is back? Is Kyle Shanahan back? Maybe. Now, he almost gave up a 20-point lead. That wouldn't have been great, but he didn't give it up, and they won by 12. And he found some things that worked in the red zone. And Kyle Juszczyk, wow. He did some things in this game. You got to give him credit, man, because he does nothing most of the time. He's usually Kyle useless, but today he was Kyle useful. Yeah, in your face. Who doubted that man? Not me. So it was really good to see that fullback do something for a change. Kyle useful. So, it would have been nice to see the Niners, like, once they went up 23-3 to like cruise to a victory. And they're not going to do that this year because, frankly, they're not back. Like, these are not the Niners we remember. They're finding themselves, and they won a game while finding themselves, but like we're waiting for that statement domination game, which I don't know that they have in them this year. Maybe they will. But it's Geno. Can we talk about Geno Smith for a second? Even though like we don't cover him, like, God, he's awful. He's so bad. And he was like in the game until the end. So I think there's some lingering questions that come out of this win. A win is a win, and this was almost a must. If they had lost this game, do you understand the things I'd be saying right now? You wouldn't like it. So they avoided that. How did they avoid that? They closed out the game. It was very interesting. They're up big. Renardo Green intercepts Geno Smith, and you're thinking, that's the game. Then the Niners score a touchdown, go for 2, don't get it, and they're up 5. Kind of scary. No, they're up 12 at this point. Up 12. Geno gets the ball, and on 3rd and 5 from the 48, throws a touchdown pass to DK Metcalf. And the only reason it didn't count is because the Seahawks had an illegal shift on the play. See, that's why I feel like you can't just be like, boom, Niners dominated, forget everything that happened earlier in the year. It's like, I don't know, like they were up 20 and they gave the Seahawks every opportunity to come back with that awful quarterback, and they did. And then it didn't count because of an illegal shift because the Seahawks just suck. Let's be real clear. They suck. And yet they score the touchdown before the 2-minute warning. They have to do it again. They get the touchdown again. And you're thinking like, are the Niners going to blow it? And the only reason they win is because Isaac Guerendo runs for 76 yards on 1st down and wins the game. Guerendo. I've been waiting all year for him to do something so I could say, Guerendo. And look, he deserves a lot of credit. Is he a good running back? I don't know. It seems like his vision isn't so good. And if you give him 10 carries, 9 of them, he'll miss the hole. But if he sees the hole and hits it, damn, he's hella fast. So maybe there's something there. But I just find it interesting that the Niners have one of the most expensive rosters in the league, one of the more veteran teams in the league. They're spending big money on Ayuk and Debo and Kittle and Juszczyk and Bosa and Warner. And with the game on the line, the game slipping away, who closes it out? Renardo and Guerendo. 2 rookies. If your name doesn't rhyme with Fernando, you're not a closer on this team. Your name has to sound a little bit like Fernando. You have to be someone that ABBA could sing about. You know what I'm saying? And like Kittle, great player, but I don't know any ABBA songs talking about Kittle or things that rhyme with Kittle or Debo. But they do have the song Fernando, which is one of my favorite songs of all time, as you know. ABBA is one of the greatest groups of all time. A very important group for football. I think the Niners would be better if they just played the soundtrack to Mamma Mia at practice every day. Think about that. They don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Mamma Mia. Here we go again. I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a great singer and I don't want to get off track. I just feel like it'd be nice. It's great when these no-name people on the Niners step up and they're spending all this money on Brandon Ayuk and he has 2 catches, but Isaac Guerendo is a hero. Will he be a hero ever again on this team? I don't know. I hope so. So I can keep singing his name. Renardo Green looks good, but at the same time, he had that interception on the next drive. He gave up the touchdown catch to Tyler Lockett. So is he good? I don't know. He had a moment. But you'd like to see like Bosa close out the game. And right now, he's like the king of like coming close. He lunges, he dives, he gets a shoestring. Like, he needs to do better. They're paying him to be the closer. Who should be the closer on this team? Bosa, Ayuk. If you get paid $30+ million a year, you're the guy with the game on the line. But no. Renardo and Guerendo. Good to know that they got closers in disguise. But is Kyle Shanahan a closer? Is Nick Sorensen a closer? Is Brock Purdy a closer? I don't know. But there was something in the air tonight. The stars were bright. Guerendo. He could run. But he stopped running midway through the play because the 49ers really want to get the ball to Kyle Juszczyk. Can I just take a minute to toot my own horn? So, I don't know what I did in the locker room to upset Kyle Juszczyk and make him uncomfortable, but he tweeted what he said, clearly uncomfortable by my presence, not just not just in the locker room, but like in the stadium, man. I was in the stadium last week. He was awful just because my presence, he could feel me looking at him from the press box and he didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he didn't play well this week. He had to really lock in and understand, look, Grant's not going away. He's going to be there long after I'm gone. I have to learn how to play football with him watching me, even though I hate him, even though I hate when his eyes are on me. So I brought out the best in Kyle Juszczyk. This guy was just going through the motions, and not just him, Kyle Shanahan. Like, you think you can just give a guy $5 million a year and just put him in motion and that's enough? No. You got to give him the ball. And so with the game on the line, Isaac Guerrero, he's the hero, but no, he slides because everyone knows Juszczyk needs a little bit of a confidence booster. So in garbage time, 6-yard line, they hand the ball to Juszczyk, he scores. Why do you think he gave him the ball? You think Kyle Shanahan just had a bright idea? Oh, I'm going to give the ball to Juszczyk, even though I never give him the ball. No, it's because they watch me and they are influenced by quality control. Quality control won the game today. The Niners were going to lose. They had a 20-point lead. They're in the process of giving it away. Had they lost this game after being up by 20, for sure, Kyle Shanahan getting fired. I would have fired him myself. I have that kind of power. But no, quality control came through because I play the long game. Kyle Juszczyk hates my guts, blocked me years ago. But I was thinking, you know what? Probably in the future, there's going to come a game where Christian McCaffrey's hurt and Jordan Mason's hurt and the red zone offense isn't doing that well. And they're going to need Juszczyk to step up. And he's not going to step up on his own because there's no scrutiny on him. You know what I mean? Everyone loves him. He went to Harvard and he's a fullback. And as long as he goes in motion and blocks one person, people think he had a great game. But no, we need it. He's a weapon. He is a weapon. And he's especially a weapon when he's feeling uncomfortable, which somehow I make him feel without even doing anything. My mere presence brings out the best in Kyle Juszczyk. So that's why quality control sometimes doesn't get enough credit, because you think, oh, Grant's a distraction. Grant's trying to make the story about himself. Grant is inciting players. And then they have the best game of their career. And you're like, oh, that's quality control. So Kyle, you're welcome. Both Kyles, you're welcome. And when I ridicule you and I make up new nicknames, Kyle Useless, Kyle Tang, that's just because I know you're going to shove it in my face next week. And I'm willing to take that because that's what quality control is all about. It's not about credit. It's not about credit. It's about giving myself credit and tooting my own horn for sure, but that's just who I am. It's about bringing out the best in my least favorite players. And of course, my least favorite player all time, the fullback. I will go to my grave not liking that dude as a player, but it's still my job as quality control to get the best out of him. And that's why I'm so good at my job, because I can compartmentalize my feelings and still find a way to help the 49ers win, when really part of me was kind of thinking like, boy, what might I say if they lose? It's not about that. It's about the long game. And I don't even get paid to do this. Isn't that crazy? I think it is. Let's take a bunch of super chats. Daniel Regis says the last touchdown by 44 confirms that Shanahan watches your videos. Boom, that's what I'm saying. That's why I call quality surveillance. It's a thankless job, but it gets results. Can we get an impression of Juice's touchdown today? Nah, man, I'm not going to take anything away from Juice. I'm just going to take credit for it. I'm him. 707 says, if I was a free agent kicker, I'd be scared if the Niners called me. Their terrible special teams played into 2 kickers. We'll talk about that too. That's crazy, man. 2 weeks in a row, kickers get injured trying to make tackles they shouldn't have to make. El Penguin, that's Spanish for the Penguin, says offense is still underperforming. Defense only gave up 17 points and 3 forced turnovers. It's true, but they kind of faded down the stretch, didn't they? A little bit. J. Figs Ramon says Guerrero ran for a home run. Sloppy but decisive win. I like the combination of sloppy but decisive. Colin Anthony says, I know I'm hating after a win, but Bosa being the most expensive defensive player in the league feels silly lately. Is he ever a big reason for a win? What are you talking about? He almost sacked Geno Smith about 14 times in this game. And Sacks are good, but almost sacks are better. Wave 9 says, great win. Bad time to ask Grant, but Devin White instead of Campbell. Do you feel differently about Garendo? Also, Kyle J. Wack, he stole Garendo's TD. I don't know if I feel differently about Garendo. I feel like he's very fast and his vision isn't great. So we definitely saw he's fast, and we'll have to see how he does in the future. But I hope he does well because I like singing his name and his praises. Carson says, Geno'd. Oh, everywhere. All over the field. It was disgusting. There were kids here. Niners aren't back. They just beat a worse team. Glad they won. Not so glad Kyle Shanahan has 3 extra days to outthink himself against the Chiefs. And the Chiefs have a week to prepare, and Andy Reid doesn't usually lose coming off a bye week, although he hasn't faced Garendo yet. Efren Cortez says, what's up with the special teams play overturned? That was crazy. They were asked about it, the refs, and they're like, well, we didn't get the right angle, which maybe they didn't. And if they didn't get that, like, how do you not give them the right angle? Anyway, Mustafa got a pick too. Yes, he did. Good for Mustafa. Also left the game with an ankle injury. Kyle Juszczyk is 1,000% a better man than I am. Me too. Cody says, please ask Kyle or the DC while Campbell is starting. Sure. Mufasa says, oil up, Grant. The young Montana, been member for 37 months. Thank you. Lorenzo Pinto says, Garendo. Grant, shout out to Isaac, my favorite player. Dustin the Gale says, why didn't Garendo go for the touchdown at the end of his run? It would have closed out the game. Because Kyle Juszczyk talked to him and was like, if you ever score a touchdown before me, we got problems, all right? Grant Cohn is on my ass, figuratively. And I got to score this touchdown, so you better go down. I think that's what happened, figuratively. Ed D says, Tang is still good. You should be humble. I'm the most humble person on the beat, for sure. And definitely in the stadium, I'm extremely humble. I'm the most humble person. Come on. Macklin says, how can the NFL let that punt ruling slide? Hold the officiating crew and NY accountable. Real Niners fans here remember Kyle Williams in 2012. PTSD. David Trinidad says, Wisnowski's such a versatile kicker, but they never call fake punts. I bet he's just itching to unleash a tight spiral and shock everyone. Thoughts? I want to see him run. He's a ball carrier. Christopher says, they're trying to keep media out of locker room. Keep fighting, Grant. You're professional. I don't think the players really care. Juszczyk might. Serenity says, total bullcrap that Garendo didn't run into the end zone. Never, ever should a coach dictate maneuvering like that. I don't know why he stopped. Niners Talk Show says it's sad how Niners fans are appeased with this BS win. It shows how they love mediocre games and losing leads. Almost every game, if Geno didn't throw 2 INTs, Niners would have lost. Kyle apologists will keep defending him. I really hope I never have to watch Geno Smith play in person again. I've seen enough. He's not it. He ain't good. It's how I feel. It's how I feel. Wait a second. There it is. Okay. Let's talk sleeper picks. Now, we're about 2 weeks away from the Niners' Week 8 game against the Cowboys. I'm giving tickets away to that. You guys aren't that excited yet, but it's 2 weeks away. You want these tickets? Download the Sleeper app. Use promo code Cohn. That's COHN. We're going Jewish spelling here, not CONE. That's ice cream. Okay, COHN. Jew. Download the app. Use promo code Cohn. Honorary Jew. And you get entered to win the 2 tickets to the game in a couple of weeks. You want those tickets. You need those tickets. You got to be at that game, man. The Niners are right in 3-3. It's the power of the Sleeper app. So let's check it out. This weekend, who are we picking? Washington, Jaden Daniels, passing yards, 227.5. I'm going more because I think he's good. That's my analysis of Jaden. Derrick Henry. Wow, what a player. Rushing touchdowns? Probably. What about rushing yards? 85.5. Yeah, I'm giving him that. He could be the MVP this year. That's how good he is. Lamar Jackson. Let's see. How about, what are you going to do? Rushing yards? Rushing yards for Lamar. 56.5. I'm going to go less. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know why. Brian Robinson. 48.5 rushing yards or a touchdown. Yeah, I'm taking a touchdown. You're seeing how the mind of a Grant the sleeper picks. I usually win. I think. Let me look just real quick. Nope, I haven't won in a while, but I do usually win. Luke McCaffrey, the best McCaffrey in the NFL this season. Reception touchdown. How about no? Not gonna happen. Isaiah Likely. 23.5 receiving yards. How about no? I don't like that. And then last one, Zay Flowers. 55.5 receiving yards. How about yes? Taking that, locking it in, flexing it. If I win, I get $740. How you like me now? That boom. What are you talking about? My balance? Huh. Thought I had hella money. Huh? I can't make I'm in Washington and they won't let me make the pick. Man, they hating on me. If I was in California, I'd be making that pick. I'm going to make it when I get home. I'm not giving up on it because I want to win. Download the Sleeper app today. Get those tickets to that Week 8 game against the Cowboys and win some squirrel. All right. So Jordan Mason went down. The Niners somehow won a game with Jordan Mason couldn't finish it. I didn't think they could do it. I thought if Jordan Mason went down, they'd be screwed. He went down in the first half, came back for the first play of the second half, had a nice run, went out of bounds, never returned. So he had an x-ray. It doesn't seem like he has a separated shoulder. Doesn't seem like he has a broken collarbone. Otherwise, I don't think he would have came back in the game. So I'm thinking the x-ray is negative, but very sore. Even with all the adrenaline, good thing he has a week and a half off. Maybe he'll play against the Chiefs, but something to monitor here. He runs very hard. It feels like this was almost inevitable. Running backs get hurt, and his style is very physical. So what do the Niners do moving forward? One thing, I think they did a great job of throwing to running backs in this game. Coming into this game, the Niners, I think, were 31st out of 32 teams in catches for running backs. That can't happen. It's a big reason that Purdy was sort of having a down season. Instead of checking down, he was the check down. He was running around, and he can't play that way. So they got the running backs back involved in the passing game. Jordan Mason is a wonderful running back, and when he went down, it was a clear drop. Like Patrick Taylor Jr., not sure why he's on the team. Special teams? He's not a good running back. Isaac Guerrero, he's the kind of guy I feel like he'll give you 2 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards, and then boom, maybe a touchdown from a long way out. So can the Niners win without McCaffrey and Mason? Can they beat the Chiefs without McCaffrey and Mason? I don't know. Maybe. But I feel like Mason really has been the Niners' offensive MVP through the first 6 games. And I think there's no coincidence that they almost coughed up this lead without him out there. He's that important. So McCaffrey can't come back soon enough. There was a report before the game that he hasn't had any setbacks since he started doing physical activity, and the Niners are confident that he's coming back this season. Every time there is an update on McCaffrey, it sounds good, but it ends up being bad news. A couple weeks ago, they were like, they're confident he's coming back in a few weeks. Now, a couple weeks later, they're like, they're confident he's coming back this season. It's like, when? So, don't know about him. We'll find out about Mason. But I don't know. If he misses an extended period of time, that kind of feels like the biggest story from this game. Yeah, they beat the Seahawks, but they lost Mason. Yikes. They haven't lost him yet, though. We'll see what happens. Luis Madera says, I'm upset Guerrero was 1 yard short of 100 yards so Kyle could get his touchdown. I'm Team Guerrero. Janul Nabong says, Ayuk not getting any opportunity in the red zone. You'd think a guy making that much money would be a weapon in any area of the field. Maybe he is a weapon in the red zone, but the Niners won't go to him. Can't celebrate a non-contender win. I don't celebrate any wins. I just celebrate the losses. So the Niners may have lost another kicker. Jake Moody went down last week trying to make a tackle because the Niners special team is so bad. And he did make the tackle. If he hadn't, it would have been a touchdown. But he got a high ankle sprain. He's out for a while. Then the Niners get another kicker, Matthew Wright, makes all of his kicks tonight. What a player. And then he has to make a tackle because the Niners special teams still sucks. And he's hurt, shoulder. So looks like the Niners may have to have their third kicker in 3 weeks, next week against the Chiefs. Special teams are a huge problem. They keep letting people run right through them for long gains. And then the kicker has to make a tackle, and then he gets hurt. That's not how they draw it up. If they keep doing that, they might need to fire that special teams coordinator. I don't like firing people willy-nilly, but like, man, your unit really sucks. They did have that block kick last week and returned it for a touchdown. I'm thinking, oh, here we go. Maybe Brian Schneider's got a little something up his sleeve. And then today, like, no, that was just a fluke. Special teams is the worst. It's like they have to win in spite of that every week, most weeks. Only reason this game was close is because the Niners special teams is just special in a bad way. So we'll see which kicker they get. They could get Sebastian Janikowski. He was good. I bet he could still kick. Strong leg. Who else could they get? David Akers. He was good. Robbie Gould, although he's a high school head coach now at Jimmy Garoppolo's alma mater. Maybe Garendo could kick the field goals. You hadn't thought of that. What about Mitch Wishnowski? You didn't think of that either, did you? Richard Evangelista says ATCQ or Jungle Brothers. Quick grades on Purdy. You know, I'm going to go with the Jungle Brothers. I feel like a Tribe Called Quest is a little, I don't know. Fife Dog doesn't really hold up. I'm sorry. I'm not a big Fife Dog fan. Q-Tip does. But every time Fife Dog has a verse, I'm like, that's how I feel. Now, when, Q-Tip has a song with Busta Rhymes, I'm all over that. But I feel like I like the Jungle Brothers better. And De La Soul. I have to say. Good question. Excellent question. Let's look ahead to the Chiefs. So the Niners have about 10 days to prepare for the Chiefs. And the Chiefs have about 14 days to prepare because they're not playing this weekend. If the Niners play like they did tonight, they're not going to beat the Chiefs. Now, not turn the ball over on offense, great place to start. But going to need more from the defense. You're going to need 4 quarters from the defense. You're going to need Nick Bosa to not come close to actually sack the quarterback. Now, maybe the Niners will beat the Chiefs next week. Maybe this is just a prelude to the Niners winning the biggest game of the season, and they're about to go on a big run. But to me, this feels like a game they had to win. They won it. They weren't dominant. They almost gave it away. They beat an inferior team, but they didn't clearly outclass the Seahawks. And now it's hard to say that, well, Garendo stepped up and Renardo stepped up and they're going to beat the Chiefs. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. But I don't know. I still feel the main reason the Niners won this game wasn't Garendo. It wasn't Renardo. It wasn't Kyle. It wasn't either Kyle. The main reason the Niners won this game, not to be a hater, tell me if you guys disagree, was Geno. Geno. Okay? They sacked him one time. He had time and space, and he threw 2 picks. He made Sam Darnold look like Josh Allen. Geno Smith, man. Wow. He's so bad. The first interception just forced it into double coverage when he wasn't under pressure and throws it to Malik Mustafa. He has multiple plays where he's scared in the pocket and throws it off his back foot over a receiver's head. If the Niners ever lose a game to Geno Smith, I'll be shocked because he has no confidence and he plays scared against him. So the Niners beat Geno. Great. Patrick Mahomes is a whole lot different. After watching the Seahawks, they're the worst team in the NFC West. I don't care that they're 3-3. They've beaten no one. Their quarterback is trash. Their head coach isn't that good. DK Metcalf isn't that good. Their defense is ridiculously awful. So the Niners won by 12. But they still have an offense that really doesn't know what it wants to do in the red zone if it's not throwing a Kittle. They got a defense that falls apart midway through the third quarter. They got to. Have they found their identity? Have they found themselves? Are they? No. What they found was Geno Smith at the right freaking time. That guy is the anti-Russell Wilson. Anytime the Niners were feeling good about themselves and came up here, Russell Wilson would bury him. Now, when the Niners are feeling bad, it's like, where's Geno? We need a confidence booster. Geno, man. I hate watching him play football. I hope I never have to see him play football. Have I said that yet? Can't stand him. He's like, he throws a nice football. He's just an awful competitor. But we're not here to talk about him. No, we're here to talk about the Niners and the Chiefs. Yeah. Excited for that game. Adam says Juice was out doing cardio, stumbled into that touchdown. Grant is mad because Geno is trash. I am mad. Enough, man. I've seen Geno play like 6 times in person. That's way more than anyone should ever have to see. What is it with the entire state of Washington collectively convincing themselves that he's a good player? They will argue that to the death. I don't understand it. They've seen him more than anyone else. Quick grades on Purdy, Sorensen, Bosa, and Go. Purdy gets an A. Sorensen gets a B. Bosa gets a C. And I don't know who Go is. 808 says, why don't they just kick the ball out of the end zone on kickoffs? If Wright can't do it, let Mitch do it. Ask Lyle if his decision or Schneider's. Wright didn't have the foot for it, did he? He couldn't kick it that far. That was interesting. Very, very interesting. Huh. Look, I like when they lose because you can there's wow, there's a lot to talk about. And I like when they win big or they beat a good team because that's a lot to talk about. But when you squeak by Geno, it's hard to know what to say. He had the touchdown pass to DK before the freaking 2-minute warning, and it didn't count because of an illegal shift. Now, the game shouldn't have been close, and it was close because the officials messed it up. Thursday Night Football just sucks. Can we say that? The officials couldn't even get it right. This game sucked. But it had Garendo, man, and we'll always remember that. It was the Garendo game. Geno's body language after interceptions is hilarious. Would Sam Howell have been worse? I'd like to know. I don't think he would have been worse. All right, it's 11 o'clock. I've only been doing this for a half an hour. I'm clearly running out of things to say. I don't think there's that many big things you can say about them after the Niners beat the Seahawks. There would have been a lot of big things that they lost, but they didn't. They took care of business. They're alive. They're alive. That's the best thing you can say about the Niners. They're alive. And if they lose next week to the Chiefs, they're not dead. But let me ask you my parting question to the class. Do the Niners look like a team that's going to go on a run and win 5 games in a row or 8 games out of 10? That's what they've been doing in the past. Or does this look like a team that is going to win some, going to lose some, and finish 9-8? That's my take on the Niners. I think they're a very talented roster that's not quite as good as the collection of their parts. And if they don't have no name players such as Renardo or Garendo stepping up, then they're in trouble. Luckily tonight, they got a double dose of Garendo-Renardo. And once you have Garendo-Renardo working together, converging, Seattle just had no answer to that. You know, maybe if they had a Fernando on their team, but they don't. They just have a Geno, and he ain't cutting it. He should change his name to Fernando right now. Fernando Smith would be better than Geno. But this is why, quality control is important. Bay hip hop or NY hip hop and not mainstream. Oh, obviously Bay hip hop. I'm sorry. I mean, New York was great in the 80s and the 90s and 2000s, but what was the last? Do they still make rap in New York? No, they make drill, whatever the hell that is, but you know, the Bay's still making rap. Yeah. Mikey Sanchez says Kyle Shanahan needs to prep for four quarters, not just two. Big problem. Yeah. This team only turns up on prime time, says Jules06. Well, fortunately, they got the Chiefs next game. They're going to show up for that. Then they got prime time the week after that in the Cowboys. So maybe they're on the verge of a winning streak. Wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't that be interesting? J. Figs Ramon says Garendo, Renardo, Nintendo, Innuendo. Maybe Gino could change his name to Nintendo. Do you think anyone in the world is named Nintendo? Because that's a baller name. I kind of want to change my name to Nintendo Cohn. That has a real ring to it. I think I would be more successful in life if my name were Nintendo. Really wonder why my parents didn't name me that. They should have. I was born in 1988. There were Nintendos out by then. They could have figured it out. Grant's a solid name, but it's not as good as Nintendo. They look like an in the hunt kind of team. True. They feel like an in the hunt kind of team. And as long as they got Garendo, they're right smack dab in the middle of that hunt. So Isaac, salute to you. Use check. Salute to you and you're welcome. Kyle Shanahan, me and you are meeting at the crossroads, buddy. We're meeting at the you're not off the hook yet. Oh no. You're still firmly on the hot seat. Better watch out. Buddy. All right, I'm done. I'm going to try to go find dinner in Seattle after 11. Wish me luck. I will need the luck of Garendo tonight. Take care.